I'm Kent Van Amberg, the Executive Director of the American Society of Baking. Welcome to First Look at BakingTECH 2021. When we decided on the theme of BakingTECH, innovating for a competitive future, little did we know what 2020 had in store for all of us. The pandemic, shutdown of major parts of the economy, and radical changes in how we communicate, work, and live our lives have created the need for major innovations in all elements of society. 100% virtual BakingTECH is a major innovation in how ASB is providing the wholesale baking industry with valuable education and desperately needed opportunities for networking with our peers and our business partners. ASB has chosen to look at these challenges as new opportunities. We asked ourselves, how does the acceptance of technologies such as Zoom, GoToMeetings, and other virtual platforms provide us the opportunity to deliver education and networking to our members in a manner that we had not previously envisioned? New ASB programs such as the weekly coffee breaks, monthly cocktail hours and trivia nights, mentoring through the table of 10, and brain dates have grown out of this realigned mission of being the leading association in virtual membership for the wholesale baking industry. The decision to transform BakingTECH 2021 from a face-to-face meeting in Chicago to a 100% virtual meeting was an easy one because the decision was made for us. Continuing travel and meeting restrictions in Chicago and across the country, coupled with the uncertainty of the long-term impact of COVID on our members' ability and willingness to attend a face-to-face meeting, left us with only two choices. One, cancel BakingTECH 2021, or two, provide even more content and greater opportunities to connect in a virtual environment. The answer was crystal clear. The purpose of today's call is to give you a quick look at what you can expect in a virtual BakingTECH. The agenda with the opening reception, keynote speakers, technical breakouts, and the marketplace will look familiar to all of you. The schedule of events, how information is delivered, and networking have totally changed, and in many instances, I feel for the better. BakingTECH 2021 incorporates the flexibility for you to participate in live sessions or to watch the presentations when it fits your schedule, actually up to 2 months later. During this call, we will be reviewing the agenda, speaker highlights, see what booths in the virtual marketplace will look and feel like, and find out more about sponsorship opportunities. Let me now turn the program over to Tawny Brideville, ASB's Director of Meetings and Operations, for a look at the agenda, speaker highlights, and exhibits. Tawny?
Hi, welcome everyone. let me just take this moment to also remind you that you may submit any questions throughout the webinar in the question box, and we'll be sure to address it during our Q&A session at the end. I want to thank you for joining us this morning. We are delighted to provide you a sneak peek into BakingTECH 2021, and we hope that you'll join us in February for this exciting new journey. The planning for BakingTECH 2021 did start late last year around this time period. So at the time, as Kent mentioned, we were planning on a face-to-face meeting. And when the decision was made to go 100% virtual, our main objective was to ensure that the virtual event encompassed all major ingredients of the BakingTECH that our members, attendees, and exhibitors have come to expect. Like the face-to-face meeting, the virtual event will offer the attendees the opportunity to network, attend keynote addresses and technical presentations, visit the marketplace, to check out the product development competition, and celebrate 5 individuals as they are inducted into Hall of Fame. All these components and more translate into a reimagined virtual BakingTECH. The virtual BakingTECH schedule will look slightly different than the normal program. As you can see, there are 3 full days of education, networking, and engagement that start on Tuesday and not a Sunday like our face-to-face meeting. In lieu of conducting longer general sessions, for example, the normal opening general session can run 3 hours. The pieces of these sessions have been dispersed throughout the digital event, starting with our keynote addresses. All keynote addresses will take place at the 10 o'clock hour each day, starting with Ross Schaefer, an award-winning comedian and author, on Tuesday morning. Wednesday's keynote speaker, Alan Bulio, will provide a 2020 economic forecast and what implications this may have on the commercial baking industry. The keynotes will culminate with Javier Gonzalez, Executive Vice President, Grupo Bimbo, on Thursday morning. Another aspect of the general sessions is the product development competition. The student teams will present their final pitches on Wednesday morning instead of doing the normal Monday morning opening general session, and will conclude on Thursday afternoon with the winner's presentation. The meeting will end with the RAF award presentation and the Hall of Fame watch party celebrating 5 industry leaders at 4 p.m. on Thursday. Not only is there a change in the general session programming, our technical sessions are slightly different for 2021. Each afternoon will feature 1 presentation from each of the breakout sessions consisting of ingredients and shelf life, consumer trends, and technology and safety. And new this year, the Engineering Acts the Expert Lunch and Learn series, which will be informal group discussions where attendees can gain insights from experts and seek their advice on current trends and issues. These will be held every day during the lunchtime hour and focusing on ingredient handling, ovens, and bagging and packaging. That's a mouthful. Networking is just as important as the educational component of BakingTECH, and the virtual event does not lack opportunity for attendees to network. Throughout the event, registrants will be able to network during the Young Professional event on Wednesday, and this event is open to everyone, not just the young professional demographic. And to start the mornings, we are offering coffee and conversation on Wednesday and a baking break on Thursday. Baker brain dates on Thursday will provide exhibitors face-to-face networking with bakers in a group discussion setting. Of course, what is BakingTECH without the welcome reception? We're thrilled to bring Mardi Gras to our attendees on Fat Tuesday, February 16th. The reception will feature live entertainment, a chef demonstration, and networking lounges. You can also have fun getting your character drawn by one of the artists that will be available, or play one of our interactive games such as Blackjack, Whack-A-Mole, or Memory. As with the rest of BakingTECH, the marketplace has been reimagined as it will be open for the duration of the conference starting at 2:15 p.m. on Tuesday. Marketplace exclusive hours represent the schedule that nothing is competing with this time frame. This is approximately 2 hours a day where attendees will have the opportunity to visit the marketplace to learn about new products and services from the exhibitors. As mentioned previously, Baker Brain Dates will be held on Thursday, which will be available only to our marketplace exhibitors to conduct 30-minute group discussion with bakers. More about the marketplace and exhibit booth inclusions will be covered momentarily. Registration for marketplace is open, and early bird pricing of $9.75 for members is available through November 30th. And of course, will be available during the Q&A for questions. But afterwards, if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me directly. Registration is open with early bird rates expiring on January 8th. If you have any questions, please contact myself or Amanda Gonzalez, Director of Member Relations. This may be your first time as a virtual attendee or exhibitor or sponsor. This is our first time hosting BakingTECH and Marketplace 2021 virtually. I hope that you will share in this journey with us. We will be here every step, guiding our exhibitors, sponsors, and attendees through the process. At this time, I'll turn the handles back over to Kent to highlight sponsorship opportunities.
Thank you, Tawny. Sponsorships are an important part of the industry support for BakingTECH and for ASB. Sponsorships enable ASB to keep the cost of registration low and thereby result in more attendance by Baker members. Unlike previous years when sponsorships were categorized by platinum, gold, silver, or bronze, this year sponsorships are linked directly to specific parts of the agenda, such as keynote speakers and the virtual meeting platform. Sponsors will get more bang for their buck this year and enhanced exposure to the industry. In addition to promotion of the company during the 3 days of the meeting, sponsors will continue to connect with attendees for additional 60 days after BakingTECH, while members can access presentations through our video on demand feature. Please review the available sponsorships for this meeting that are in our handout section and will also be on our website, and contact me or Teresa Reuter to discuss how you can support ASB and BakingTECH 2021. I will now turn the program over to Schaefer Bush. She is the event strategist for our meeting partner, JDC. Schaefer?
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Kent and Tawny. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you today. I'm Schaefer with JDC Events, and we are thrilled to be a part of BakingTECH 2021, the first journey into the virtual experience. So a little bit about JDC. We are an events management firm in the Washington, D.C. area, and we have been producing live, hybrid, and virtual events for many years. So virtual is not new to us, but we understand and appreciate that virtual might be new to many of you, that the comfort and familiarity of the various technologies and platforms out there is across the board. So today, myself and some of my colleagues who will be joining me later during this discussion, as well as at the Q&A portion at the end, are here to support you. And we really would like to give you the kind of 30,000-foot view of BakingTECH and talk to you about some of the features that you'll see during the event, what the planning process looks like, particularly if you are going to be an exhibitor or a sponsor, or if you're just thinking about it. We know that many of you, like us, probably have screen fatigue these days from the last few months of sitting on Zoom meetings and GoTo meetings and Teams. Perhaps you've participated in numerous virtual conferences at this point. Perhaps this is your first. So the goal of today is to share information with you and to answer your questions. So please feel free to drop those questions into the questions portion of your panel. I'll try to keep an eye on that. If not, we will address those later, and we can always follow up with you afterwards on email as well. So working with ASB is acting as a support system. I'm sharing that because, again, I know some of you have done this before. You've participated as an exhibitor, and perhaps it was a really successful process and you're interested in doing it again, or perhaps it wasn't. And what we do as a team, from the moment that you register, whether you're an attendee, speaker, exhibitor, or sponsor, we're going to support you and hold your hand from that initial communication. Over the next few months, you'll hear from us frequently via email about what we're planning, what we're doing. For exhibitors and sponsors, you'll meet my teammates later in this webinar. They will be working with you, white glove service, the entire process. So in the handout section on your panel here, you have two downloadable handouts. There's one for exhibits and there's one for sponsorships. I'll show those and walk you through them momentarily, but please feel free to download those. And part of JDC's support for exhibits and sponsorships is guiding you. How do you create your booth? And our overall goal is, how do you maximize your virtual experience? So rest assured that this will not be an event where you sign up and then you do not hear from us or from ASB until February. There'll be multiple touch points helping you so that you maximize when you get in front of attendees and that you understand the tools and technology. So we won't just help you build a booth or create a sponsorship. We will also train you on how to use the platform ahead of the event. Hands-on training and constant communication. That's a best practice that we've seen, and that's what we've seen work really well and create a successful event. So that's a little bit about our team and our goal in joining all of you today. And in working with ASB, I also wanted to share what we tried to create in terms of an event design virtually. And then I'm going to show you some samples here so you can actually see and get a sense of what that looks like on your screen. So we have focused BakingTECH 2021 around three core elements. We want it to be informative, we want it to be interactive, and we want it to be engaging. And then we looked at a platform that could provide that, and particularly one that was set up for networking and for a virtual marketplace that allowed exhibitors and sponsors to connect, meaningfully connect with attendees. We ended up deciding on a platform. It's called Eventfinity. As the name would suggest, Finity, it is structured so that there's an infinite number of possibilities and allows for a lot of creativity in terms of your event design. It's a platform where you will not have to download any type of software to your computer. You're going to log in strictly from a browser, and it is currently under construction. So the samples I'm going to turn to in a moment will give you a sense of concepts and features that will be showcased at BakingTECH, but it's going to be a customized website that is built specifically for this event. So attendees will have access to it in the days leading up. And then exhibitors, sponsors, and speakers, similar. However, you will have earlier access and training provided by our staff. So again, you can see your booth, you can know how to use it, and that you are familiar and ready to go by the time that event opens. So that come to February, you're excited about participating and you're not as nervous about what do I do or where do I go or what do I click on. So let's look at a couple of examples. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here, share my web browser. Okay. So what you're seeing here on your screen is a sample event I mentioned. Come towards February, you will receive an email from ASB that will invite you to log in. You'll use your email address. It'll be the same email address that you've registered with, and you'll be provided a generic password. Some platforms, they allow just one-point access with an email address. The reason that we prefer this method is for security, for GDPR and privacy. So upon logging in, you'll be able to change your password. This is a completely secure event where if you are not registered, you will not have access to it. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. And where land on the event homepage. Again, BakingTECH 2021 under construction, fully customized for this event, but there will be similar aspects. What you're seeing on your screen here are these, we're calling these homepage banners, these rotating banners. We also have some carousel banners underneath for logos. I'm highlighting these first because these are excellent visibility branding opportunities, and several of them are encompassed in our sponsorship packages, which we'll walk through, again, available via the handouts that you can download. But part of this event design is all about driving traffic. It's driving that attendee journey for engagement and interaction. And what that means for a sponsor and an exhibitor is that there are going to be touch points throughout this process that will get attendees in front of you for one-on-one as well as small group engagement. Or earlier, Tawny spoke about the different sessions available, keynotes, technical sessions, panels, and networking being a big component of that. So we will have all of those featured. You will have a navigation bar. This platform is very user-friendly, and part of shaping an event to be informative is making sure that it's not overly complicated for any of you so that you can easily navigate things and find them. So I mentioned JDC's support, technical assistance. So once you're actually in the event, I want to highlight that throughout the conference, there's going to be a button at the bottom of every page that says need more help. This will be clickable and take you directly to technical assistance for email support. There will be a live human being on the other end of this. This is not chat bots. There will be a person there to answer questions. They can get on the phone with you if you need additional assistance with your camera or your audio. That's something that we really love about this platform, that there are touch points for support. Along with that, there's going to be a help desk and FAQs. These are common questions that we've all experienced no matter the platform. They provide visuals and instruction on how to use your camera, how to use your audio, how do I chat someone. So these will be at your fingertips as well, because again, what we found, people enjoy events when they're able to easily navigate them and that they have help if you need it. We understand variety of comfort levels, so these tools will be there at BakingTECH for you. Talking a little bit more about the sessions, we'll have the conference schedule, conference agenda that'll be featured. You'll easily be able to toggle between the different days. Sponsorships, again, will be featured on the agenda as part of different packages. Speakers will be highlighted, descriptions of those sessions, and they're all easily accessible. The bottom of each session has a one-click button to enter it. Session rooms will have branding available as part of the exhibits and sponsorship packages as well. So a lot of opportunity here, and again, simple and easy to follow. Some of the other features we love about this platform, there'll be live notifications throughout the conference. They'll pop up on your screen in your sidebar here. That will be clickable. They'll tell you what's going on. Maybe there's a demo coming up in an exhibitor's booth. The welcome reception's about to start. You'll be guided on what to do and where to go throughout your journey. Another constant touch point of communicating what's going on, because we've built in a lot for this and a couple of surprises, which I'm excited to show you. Something Kent also underscored is this platform, the whole platform is going to be available for 60 days post-event. So your registration includes access to this for 2 months. That means that you can go to videos on demand and watch your sessions. If you miss something, if your boss has you in another meeting, we understand that you're not traveling to a hotel, you're at home. So you're juggling, perhaps educating, homeschooling kids, you've got family, you've got other meetings, and that's okay. We understand that you're going to be pulled in different directions. So part of offering this for 60 days is that you can tune in, you have flexibility to watch when you want. And the best part is, since it's available, focus on the networking, focus on the engagement, because you can watch this at a later time. They're available to you. So it gives you choices and allows you, with everything going on in the world, to be flexible. We're gonna dig in on this more in a few minutes, but there'll be the virtual marketplace, which is really exciting. I'll show you what's included in the booth. I'll bring my colleague on to talk about that a little bit as well. One session that Tawny mentioned that I'd like to talk through and play a fun little surprise with you guys is the welcome reception. So it is going to be Mardi Gras themed. It's on Fat Tuesday, and we have some exciting activities, a live band, caricature artist, which I know probably sounds a little weird, but it's super fun. You'll get a downloadable picture as a souvenir. There'll be a cooking demonstration, and then there's going to be some live games that will launch during the reception. So to give you a taste of kind of what that looks like on your screen, here's a sample reception. Everything's accessible from one point. So we'll have some remarks opening for the reception that's played through a video. This is a sponsorship that was highly sought after. It's already been sold, but there are a lot of other opportunities still available. We're going to have a virtual photo booth. And then all of the different activities will be accessible from one page. So you're not clicking around to a ton of things. You're working from one space. And then there'll be networking rooms. We're still determining kind of what those look like, but there'll be opportunities for, again, exhibitors, sponsors, and attendees. You're not going to be excluded if you're an exhibitor and a sponsor. You have access to all of these features as part of your package, as part of that conference registration. And then some live bands, which were really fun. It's a shared experience. You might be at home, pour yourself a cocktail, and you get to listen to some music. So I mentioned live games. As part of the welcome reception, we are launching 3 games. And I have one that I'm going to be demoing for you right now. And then Amanda is going to drop a link into the chat, and you guys will all be able to play along with me. I'm very competitive. I've played this a few times, but I hope you enjoy. So this is the Whack a Roll game. So we're going to launch these during the reception, and then the 3 games will be available throughout the entire conference for attendees to play. There'll be a special part of the platform that's housing these, and there's going to be a live leaderboard for every game. So in between sessions, you can take a break, play Whack-A-Roll, do some memory match, some blackjack, and then at the end of the conference, via the live leaderboard for all 3 of these, whoever is the lucky winner will receive a very generous prize. I'm not going to give away what that is, but you're going to want to win it, trust me. And there'll be a prize for each game. So I'm going to play live, no judgment here. Again, in the chat, please take advantage of that link. And then at the end of the webinar, we will show the leaderboard to see who does best. So you log in, you're gonna hit play. And then here we go. Okay, so you wanna hit all the roles. And then once the ASD logos start coming up, you wanna try to get as many of those as you can because you get extra points. But avoid the burnt pieces of bread. The JDC team likes to make fun of me because I'm super competitive and really enjoy playing this. It's also a great stress reliever in between meetings. So now that you have the link, save it, favorite it, play it in your own time. Okay, we're running out of time. All right, okay. Let's see how I did. Not too bad, 10,400. Oh, I'm still at the top right now, guys. Oh, Tawny, you made top 10. Okay, I like seeing those names adjust. So I'm gonna hide this right now and we'll come back and take a peek during our Q&A. And so the gamification is really fun. It's something that we specifically wanted to incorporate because it is interactive and engaging, which are the two we're really trying to drive home with this event. So shifting towards interactive and engaging, I'm going to pull up another sample site to give you just a different sense. Log back in here, and I want to talk a little bit about the networking opportunities. So part of when you log into the platform, you'll be able to edit your profile, and there'll be different fields available. This is just standard here, but they'll be specific to BakingTECH. And the more information you include here, particularly when it comes to a bio and a photo, that's really going to assist you with the networking aspects. All attendees, including exhibitors and sponsors, will be featured in the networking directory. Again, this is not specific. If you're an exhibitor, you are included in this. You will have the ability at any time to reach out to others. And what's particularly cool about this networking directory is the ability for serendipitous networking. And what I mean by that is throughout the agenda, Tawny touched on this, we have specific designated networking times that we're carving out. But outside of that, this goes back to we're all in this virtual world right now where we're working from home, or at least most of us are. We need to have flexibility in setting meetings, and we all have different goals going into a virtual event. So for every attendee, we will have the ability to schedule a meeting. So you'll have the conference dates will be designated certain time frames, and you as an exhibitor, you as a sponsor, you can send requests to anyone and schedule meetings and set that up. And once that meeting is confirmed by the other party, it appears directly on your agenda. So it's a seamless process. There's also the ability to request to video chat. That's a more in the moment. So if I were to send Andrea a request, she accepts it, and we're placed into a room to network and have a discussion. So this is something we love JDC about this platform. It makes it easy, and it gives sponsors, exhibitors, speakers, and attendees the flexibility to reach out and make those connections. Because if you're in a hotel, you might just run into someone in the hallway, but it's a little bit different in virtual. So outside of the networking directory, where does that networking take place? What kind of a room is it? So part of Eventfinity, they have the video conferencing technology. They're called vMeet rooms, V as in Victor, and they're ostensibly a Zoom room with additional features. So I'm going to show you what one of those looks like. So some of our sessions, our technical session presentations, our lunch and learns, they'll take place in a vMeet room. I'll turn my camera on real quick in here. Sorry, it's pulling from my GoToMeeting, but this room, you'll have control over audio, your video, you can share your screen, you can whiteboard, you can play videos, And this is also the inside of what a virtual booth looks like. And we'll talk more about the marketplace momentarily, but I wanted to showcase this. There's a chat feature. You can send surveys. You have the ability to raise your digital hand, react, and then in all of the rooms, there'll be meeting information. And again, you can test your connectivity at any time if you're having technical difficulties. You can also adjust your audio and video in the space. So you can see here, if I had an external camera, I can adjust my mic. So these are little tools that just make it a bit easier for you when you're navigating through different rooms. On the digital hand, something else that's cool about this platform is for Q&A. Some of our sessions will be designed where if you raise your hand, we'll bring you up on stage, on screen with participants to ask questions. And it's more engaging and allows for a bit more of an intimate environment versus purely a presentation style. So a couple of other little networking items. Again, exhibitors and sponsors will have access to these. There'll be a social media feed during the event that will be populated with the conference hashtags. We'll be aggregating across channels, so that will all appear live inside of the platform. And we'll also have a social stream board. Think of this as kind of your so attendees, sponsors, exhibitors can all post here. They can make comments about the event, they can share a story, they can tag other attendees, they can like, they can add photos. But we've seen this work really well for exhibitors and sponsors that have a marketplace booth, because they can also use this as a place to advertise sessions or thank folks for attending a session that they have. Again, you just saw some of those carousel logos at the bottom there. So this is another fun networking feature where we see a lot of engagement. And here is a booth from a different event. It's really fun, and it just creates that kind of connectivity and interaction that we look for in an event. So shifting, building on interaction and engagement, a key piece to all of this is the marketplace, exhibits and sponsorship. So I'd like to invite my colleague, Dana Rice, to join me up here. Dana is one of JDC's exhibition specialists, and we're going to talk briefly about the marketplace and the sponsorships before bringing both teams back for some Q&A. So these two handouts, again, are going to be available. This is the exhibit handout for the virtual marketplace and the sponsorship handout. Those are both downloadable from your go-to panel right now. There we go. So Dana's going to pop on with me, and we want to talk about, Tawny mentioned the marketplace hours. So we have open hours as well as exclusive hours. And what's exciting about this is the exhibitors, you will not be in competition with any other content. So we really want to drive traffic to the marketplace to make sure that you're getting an opportunity for one-on-one engagement and are able to connect with attendees and utilize your booth in a meaningful way. I'd like to highlight some of the aspects of the virtual booth, and then we'll show you a couple examples of what that looks like live on your screen. So again, Dana and the rest of our team will be assigned to each exhibitor and sponsor, holding your hand throughout this process. So from building your booth to selecting your material to determining what's going to garner the most engagement, will be there to support you, as well as with actual training with the technology. So here's a little overview of what's included with all booths. You get a lot of branding, logo, video, different photos that pop out. So if you had a booth schedule, you can add a nice visual there. But the items that we really like to highlight are the enrollable sessions for the booth. So you can host small group sessions up to 25 people in your booth. That's on camera. You can do product demos. You could host a roundtable. We have a marketplace social hour that might be an opportunity to host a happy hour inside of your booth. You can do raffles. You can do all sorts of things. It's really endless in terms of the creativity. And attendees will be able to register directly from your page. They can also schedule a meeting request directly with you that will go to you. You can accept that, and again, it'll appear on their agenda so that they can easily access it. Your company representatives will be featured, and these will also be linked to the networking directory. So again, always tying traffic back, another touch point for engagement. And lastly, a fun one that we really love to include because it's a lead generator is submitting your digital business card. There'll be a button available on your booth page where attendees can just click once. It will submit their business card, including name, email, title, company, and at the end of the event, you will have an easily downloadable leads list. You're probably thinking, well, not everyone's going to want to submit their card, and that's very true. So we've designed a contest. An attendee that submits their card at every single booth will be entered to win a grand prize. Again, a very nice one. So we are looking for ways to encourage that traffic, to encourage that engagement, to make sure that those leads are there for you at the end of the event. And we've seen this work very successfully in conferences. We also have incorporated 2 really unique and fun engagement ideas in reference to the marketplace, event swag and raffles. So I know we might have a couple raffles left at this point. We've had an influx of signups on exhibits, which is exciting. The first 30 exhibitors that do sign up, you'll have the option to participate in a raffle giveaway. And again, probably thinking, why do I want to do this? So there'll be a special area on the site that our team will be highlighting the raffles. This will also go into the virtual business card exchange, that contest. So we will be making announcements for exhibitors throughout the conference. Names will be drawn based on registration, and those winners will have to traffic your booth to collect their prize. So this is another great way to feature the exhibitor. We can get a visual from you and highlight that. And again, this is an interactive wall, so we get to see a lot of comments and likes, exhibitors being able to interact with attendees. So this is a fun benefit. The prize is completely up to you and totally optional as far as participation. And then digital swag, which is a new one that is also a great lead gen. You will have the option to participate in the digital swag bag. So it's a special area on the platform. An attendee will complete the short little form here, and digital swag will be available from all the sponsors. So they'll traffic your booth to actually download that. And Dana, I've been chatting, but Dana, I'd love for you to be able to highlight why we've seen this work really successfully for other events.
So with the digital swag, it's kind of a one and done. The form that they fill out up at the top is very simple for them to fill out as it auto-populates once they start filling it in. So it's a matter of just quickly filling out that form and submitting it. By doing that, that qualifies you to be able to receive all of the swag. So this functions very similarly to in a live event when you go to the registration counter and there's a sponsor of the bag, and here you see at this particular event that there was an actual bag sponsor for the swag, and that that person's information was printed on the bag, and then each one of the people that participated and provided a swag item were then provided with each one of the leads. So anybody that filled out the form received all the leads that were generated by them. And it also helped to drive the traffic to the platform, or across the platform and into the booths.
Exactly. And I want to show a couple of examples and then leave time for Q&A. So here's one sample booth. And Dana, do you want to talk about Again, some of these features, why I know this exhibitor was pretty successful.
Absolutely. So this particular exhibitor, Trap, you notice that their logo is located in the top left-hand corner. This is the landing page for their booth of sorts, the directory listing, if you will. So here they've provided their logo along with a brief company description. And just below that, you see where they had activations that were planned in their booths. So they did have a schedule listed of different activities that they were going to be doing in their booth or demonstrations that they were holding. This is a very engaging thing.
If I can just remind everyone, so for BakingTECH, we will have this as enrollable sessions. So not only will those be featured, but attendees will be able to click and immediately enroll, and that will be on their agenda. So there are some new features here. Again, just keep in mind this is just a sample. So this doesn't have enrollable, but that will be featured for BakingTECH.
Absolutely. And then just below, you see where they have resources that are listed. These can be anything from downloadable materials to links. You also want to make sure that you provide access to your website through this resource section so that people can click. Each one of these items opens up in a separate browser, so you're not actually leaving the event. It's just a matter of negotiating from one tab to another. So that part is also very, very nice.
What's the Starbucks gift card, Dana?
So as part of this particular Trap's swag bag, they ordered for visitors that came to visit their booth to engage in coffee and conversation during a particular time in the morning, that they could stop by and that they would receive a $5 Starbucks gift card. And how they executed that was they had the link there and it went to a Survey Monkey. And that Survey Monkey also acted as a source of lead generation for them, where they received everybody's information. But then the Survey Monkey also worked to distribute those gift cards on the back side, so that it was a very simple process, both for Trap as well as for the receiving attendee.
That's terrific. Thanks so much, Dana. And I know I want to touch very quickly on sponsorship so we can leave 10 minutes to do some Q&A. The sponsorship prospectus, again, is available as that downloadable handout, and we have already sold a few of these. We have 2 keynotes left. Particular highlights for this sponsorship are a speaking opportunity for the company prior to the keynote and introduction, as well as a 30-second kind of sponsor sizzle. You could think of that as a short promo that would play immediately before the session. Banner on the home page that you saw previously, little reminder for you of what that looks like. Banner up here, carousel logos throughout 3 different places throughout the platform. So tons of branding, push notifications to all conference attendees, inclusion on the event social media feed, so a wide variety, and most importantly, data analytics. In all of the sponsorship packages and for all marketplace exhibitors, you will receive data analytics post-event. That means the number of individuals that visited your booth, visited the landing page for your booth, or attended your session. The welcome reception is already, like I said, a hot commodity has been sold. I did want to highlight the countdown video sponsorship. For those of you that joined 10 minutes prior to the start today, you likely saw this countdown. So this is a sponsorship that is still available. This video would play with your company logo prior to the start of all of the content sessions. So it won't be before networking, but you're looking at more than 15 sessions where your company logo is going to be front and center before every single session. Again, lots of branding opportunities, data analytics included as well. General session sponsorship, many of those same features. You'll be featured on the agenda. You'll have your branding in the room. That goes along the same lines for the keynotes as well. And then the steal of a sponsorship is the videos on demand. Again, this whole event will be available for 60 days. So that means your company will be featured 60 days post-event on the site, promoting all of the different sessions. And that's in addition to other branding and data analytics. And then we do have a couple of lower level sponsorships. The YP Happy Hour is going to be really fun, lots of entertainment, a mixologist along with a couple of other surprises, and carousel logos. These are terrific if you are looking at perhaps only getting a marketplace booth and looking at a smaller investment. You can add on one of these and it will drive traffic to your booth. So a wide variety, and Kent and the team, as well as myself, we're happy to discuss that. Teresa and Kent are available to review any of that with you guys. Please drop questions in, and I'd like to invite my colleagues as well as the ASB team back to the screen and answer some of those questions. Thank you so much for all of your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Schaefer and Dana and Tawny. Great presentations. So a reminder, if you're submitting a question, make sure your attendee panel is open and then enter the question in the question box and click send. Or you can raise your digital hand and you'll be unmuted and you can ask your question directly. So do we have any questions? Maybe we did a great job answering all of their questions.
And don't forget to keep playing Whack-A-Roll because we are going to reveal the leaderboard. So try to beat me.
Yeah, absolutely. So Kara was really great at answering questions as they were coming in, but they do have some that I'd like to highlight. And one of them is concerning. It's from Alice, and she wants to know, should they always have one person connected during the opening hours of the virtual marketplace? Because they're going to be in Europe when they're exhibiting. So I thought that'd be great for us to answer live.
I can take that question, Amanda. So one of the things that we do recommend for the staffing of the exhibit booth is that you have at least 2 people staffing the booth at all times. We do recommend up to 4. However, having 2 there allows you to be able to use all of the capabilities of the booth because there are breakout features as well where you can use breakout rooms when you're in the vMeet room. So let's say you had a group of 5 people that were in the room to begin with, but you wanted to carry on a sales type conversation off grid and not to anybody that was just stopping by your booth. Then you could use that breakout room, but you would always want to have somebody present in the room so that when people drop in that someone is there to greet them.
And if I can just piggyback on that, I would say, I mean, dealing with different time zones is something we're very used to. When we were talking about the enrollable sessions, I would say we should work with you, Alice, to make sure that when we put together that schedule, that's conducive to what is most feasible for you guys. And that way, the highest traffic points will be when you're sunny and you've had your coffee and you're ready to go.
Okay, perfect. Another question that came in, a couple people actually asked similar questions to this topic is, and I know we covered it, but let's definitely go over this again because it's really important. Is there a possibility to share live stream video demonstrations with attendees or to invite attendees for one-on-one sessions?
Absolutely. So you can, so let's start if you're in the marketplace. In your booth, you can share your screen and share video that way. The other unique feature of the booths is we can preload videos so that you could have them on hand to just click a button and play. So that's a possibility as well. As far as the one-to-one, absolutely, you can schedule meetings. The networking directory is a great time to do that. And then Tawny mentioned this, but we'll have other networking that is built into the agenda as far as coffee and conversations. That'll be topical networking, where again, exhibitors and sponsors are permitted to participate in those conversations. They're not a sales opportunity, but they are an opportunity for you to join and to engage with the other conference goers.
So Tawny, this next question actually would be great for you to answer. Alan wants to know, what is the difference between the exclusive exhibitor and the regular exhibitor? So like booth space and stuff.
I'm guessing that is referring to the hours, because right now all of the exhibitors are equal and same in the options of what they're getting in their booth. So the exclusive hours are basically the hours that is not competing with any other events going on in the schedule. So there's approximately 2 hours a day where there is nothing in the schedule where we are going to be encouraging the attendees to visit the marketplace and to visit the exhibitors to find out, to learn more about the products and services. As Schaefer and Dana just explained, the marketplace is open for the duration of the meeting. So that means individuals can go to your booth at any time throughout the meeting, but those exclusive hours are when there's nothing else occurring in the program.
And we'll be driving traffic during those times too. So as soon as those windows come up, we'll be sending live notifications on the platform. If you guys are hosting demos, we can promote those. The social stream, that page that I said is like a Facebook wall, that's a great place where then you could post yourself saying, hey, we have this coming up, and attendees visit those pages. Those are some of the most highly trafficked pages across any site. So there are a lot of opportunities for us to help you drive traffic.
And it's super important to plan your schedule in your booth around those hours, because those are the perfect opportunities for you to do the demonstrations, to hold the sessions, to have conversations, to have roundtables, to do those things in your booth to make sure that you're maximizing the networking opportunities that your marketplace booth provides.
So you guys can see how amazing our JDC partners are, because actually that was my next question. It was from Sarah wanting to know what we're doing to drive attendees to the exclusive hours for the exhibitors. So perfect, thank you guys for that. The next question that I have is from Peter. He'd like to know, Tanya, this is probably a great question for you again. What is the expected number of total conference attendees?
So we are looking at, because it is global or it is virtual, we are anticipating a more global attendance at BakingTECH. So we're looking at around 1,000 or 1,100 attendees with approximately 150 exhibitors attending the virtual event.
Perfect. And I'm sorry, go ahead, Kent.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that because it is a virtual event and people don't have to travel, especially from overseas, we expect a lot larger international audience. We are going to be using closed captioning for Spanish. And then we've already promoted and we have partnerships with other baking associations in Germany, in the UK, in Australia. They're going to help us to promote it. So we're expecting to have a lot larger audience from that. But the experience of other groups that have been using virtual platforms and have been expanding to different markets beyond just their membership is that they've seen a very large increase. I think Tawny's being modest there. We usually get about 1,000 people, and we could see that number easily doubling when we're doing a virtual meeting.
Wonderful. So our next question, and this might be more for a JDC, Michael is asking, is there a limitation to upload videos? I'm assuming for the booth.
Probably for the booth. So Dana, do you want to take that one?
Absolutely. So on the directory listing page, you have the ability to house one video in that space. So that video, typically we recommend it be 5 minutes or less, just so that people actually will stop and watch those videos. You are able to use videos, podcasts, downloadable materials, all of those type of things in the resource section of your booth. And then in your actual V-Meet room portion of the booth, where Schaefer had previously mentioned that you could download videos to play there. You can have multiple videos there if you would like to download them. I would say 2 or 3 would be the max that you would probably want to house there. The other option that you do have to be able to play a video, and that might that we normally see people use, most of the exhibitors tend to use screen shares to do that, but you absolutely have the opportunity to have multiple videos loaded into the V-Meet room portion of the booth.
Okay, perfect. So looks like there's a little bit of a lull in questions. We're going to give everybody the opportunity, if there's any other questions, to submit them. But in the meantime, Schaefer, do we want to take a look at that leaderboard? I'll go ahead and change the presenter screen back to you.
Sure, someone took the crown away from me, but it's okay. Here. Okay. There we go. So it looks like I'm going to do a quick refresh just to make sure. Jesper with 12,900. Wow. Quick trigger there. I wonder if you're playing on your phone, Jesper, because that tends to be easier than if you're using your computer. But great to see you guys are engaging with it. It's really fun. It's addictive. And you'll have practice ahead of.
Okay, well, thanks everybody for playing whack-a-mole. Amanda, are there any more questions?
I've just checked, and at this point, no additional questions have come in.
Okay.
So I'm going to take back screen control.
Okay. Okay, I just want to, in closing, thank everyone for attending this first look at BakingTECH 2021. I hope that we've answered most of your questions and that you're as excited as we are about all the innovative opportunities for education and networking and real take-home value that's going to be part of BakingTECH 2021. A copy of today's session will be posted to our website for you to review and to share with other members of your team. If you have any further questions, be sure to reach out to the ASB staff and we'll make sure you get answers to those questions. So again, thank you for joining us today for this first look, and I hope the rest of your day is great. Take care.
Thank you.